All right, I'm just gonna make a quick little video because, it's been like a couple weeks since I made one, and I just wanted to make a video that gives you guys a little bit of, any of you who follows me, if you need a um, little bit of inspiration, a little bit of incentive to make a change in your life, I want to give you that now with in any way that or in a way that I can through my own experience. Now, the way I'm going to do that is just talk about a little bit about taking risk because this is something that I am living and breathing each day. Um, as many of you know, I am an American living in Asia. Right now, I'm still in Japan, and next month I'm going to be flying over to Vietnam because I have to sacrifice. It's very nice being here in Japan, and I love Japan. And when I am successful in making money, I will move back to Japan. And it's been a great experience, so I know exactly um, where I want to be and what I want to shoot for. But I cannot financially afford the rent. It's way too expensive for me right now, so I'm going to Vietnam where it's much cheaper so I can extend my time and manage my risk. So, one thing that I've learned through my experience of taking risk and making this big leap in my life is taking risk does multiple things for you that would not you would not have access to if you did not put yourself in such a situation where funds, your job, your life, not your life, but you know what I mean, like where you put yourself in an unknown situation that is outside of your um, comfort. It might be, um, there might not be any guarantee for success, but you are putting yourself in a situation that there's more potential. It's not safe, but that is the trade-off for everything, that where there lies potential, there is a lack of safety. Because if making money or being successful or achieving something was safe, then everyone would be successful and everyone would be making money. Everyone would be rich. Everyone would have what they want. And that's just not the case. The reality of the situation is anything that gives you reward requires sacrifice and requires risk taking and um, a certain degree of unknowing and um, betting your time and effort with the possibility of not receiving anything in return. So the first thing that taking risk does is it makes you take action. So it makes you do the things that you actually need to do. When you put yourself out there, I'm here in Asia, I have to figure out what to do. And because I'm watching the money drain from my bank account, quite literally, that is my lifeline. My savings are being used up because I don't have a job, I don't have anything going on. So I have to make something happen because what am I going to do? Just sit here and watch my money drain? No. And what does that cause me to do? That has caused me to um, do an extensive amount of research, reaching out and taking action that I never would have done before if I was still in the States. To give you a bit of example of that, I've spent the past week, a couple weeks actually, um, spending every day grinding through these online courses for certifications for different various things, uh, skills uh, that I could possibly use for freelance or leverage for when I'm trying to get a job online. Because now I'm in Asia, well, how do I get a job? I have to get an online job. So I'm looking at what jobs are required, and I'm looking at what the specifications are for what they want and what you need to know and what you need to do. And I'm taking the action to learn those things and get the certification. So I just earned two certifications in 2 weeks, and I never would have done anything like that in my life. I've never done anything like that in my life. I don't have a degree, I don't have anything. And I did all of that in 2 weeks because I had to. And I want to drive that point really, um, I want to make that clear because, at least for me, that has really, really made an impact on actually, if you have a problem with taking action, you might need to reconsider your environment and how much pain and discomfort you're in. Like, how much, how much do you need to do something? Maybe you don't need to do things as much, and maybe you need to put yourself in a position where you need to do things more. And once you get yourself in a position um, where you're a little bit more stressed and a little bit more thinking about like on your feet, like, okay, what do I need to do? I think that is the magic uh, potion that you're looking for. I think that that is what most people who think that they're lazy, like if you think you're lazy, I'm extremely lazy, but I just got done more work in 2 weeks than I've ever done in my life. I just spent all day, every day, working at working at it. So if you have a feeling, if you feel like you need to push yourself to do things and you don't have any drive or motivation, I suggest that you see what you can do to add more risk to your life so that you feel that so that you need to do the things that are necessary, because sometimes that is what you need, because it's worth it if it gets results, because at the end of the day we have one life, and so many people just coast through their life not taking action because they weren't ever pushed hard enough to do it. And if you don't push yourself, if you don't put yourself in a position where you have to do it, you might never do it. And I think for me, that's the scariest thing ever, is to wake up one day and be, you know, middle-aged and not have done anything towards my goals or dreams or aspirations, or at least tried something. You have to make yourself do these things because you only have one life. And if that means moving out of your hometown, moving out of your country, going somewhere completely different, away from all your friends and family, away from everyone that you know, and force yourself to make new friends, meet new people, find new skills, you have to do it. You have to try. And I think for me, at least, it's been a very easy way, very fast way to get myself to do things. So the second thing that taking risk does is it pushes you to grow. So you experience things that you never would have because you're now in a situation that you've never been in before. You're in a different place, you're in a different environment, you're doing something different, you're at a different job. Maybe you've never done sales before and now you're doing sales and you're experiencing things that you have never thought that you just can't even imagine it. And it's because I think a lot of the time we have this problem of thinking that we can imagine every situation and then how things will work out. But in reality, you have no idea until you experience it yourself. So just remember that you kind of have to be a little hard on yourself in the sense of just you don't know as much as you think you do. You only know what you have experienced, and you have to look at what you've experienced, and has it been the same thing your whole life? Well, then how are you supposed to expect any sort of change to happen in your life if you haven't made any change? If any change, you have to make the change happen in order for things to change. You have to be the change in your own life in order for changes to happen. So be the change. You need to force something new to happen in your life. You have to move somewhere. You have to change jobs. You have to do something, you know, even if it's something little like, cleaning your entire room out or just doing something that's just kind of very opposite of what you usually do. You just have to try. You just have to switch things up because if you just do the same thing over and over again, um, don't expect anything to change. I know from my own experience, I have spent the past 10 years doing the same thing and nothing has changed. The only time that things have changed have been when I moved here or moved there or done something different. For me, in my own experience, it has been moving places. I've been on the farm, I've been in the same place my whole life on the farm in a very isolated place. Every time, the whole time that I'm there, nothing changes. I can tell myself, "Oh, I'm going to try this, I'm going to try that." Nothing happens because the environment is the same. The only time something has changed in my life, the only time that I've gained something has been when I moved out. So that was when I went to the city in Toronto, and that is now when I went to Asia. So two different times in my life, I have experienced great change. So in Toronto, I experienced a complete shift in skills and career. I actually got into trading in crypto and I made a little bit of money from that. And that's actually what I've been living off of and has caused part of the reason why I've been able to live in Asia for the past couple months is because of the success, the small success that I had while I was forcing myself to survive on my own and learn a new skill because I need to make money. I can't work a job in Toronto because I'm an American. I had to force myself to find people. I networked and found people who know how to do something online and I learned how to do it and I made some money and I was able to keep going. I'm able to I that is why I'm here today is because I took that leap and I had never done trading in my life and I've never done the things that I'm learning right now with the certifications that I'm taking. I'm taking certifications in Facebook ads and um, Google ads and analytics and stuff like this stuff I have never ever stepped foot in, and now I'm starting to understand them more. And whether or not I end up doing something with them, I am doing something. I'm forcing myself to learn something, and I'm meeting new people. I'm networking, and things are happening. So the next thing that taking risk does is it shows you what you really want and what you really care about. There's so many things that I have dropped in my life since making this big change. Like there's so many things. Like my life is very simple right now. I wake up, I make my coffee, I get on my computer, and I work. I try to figure out what I'm gonna do. How am I gonna build my business? What next step am I gonna take? You know, what am I going to do to get off of my feet, to start my business, to start my path in making money online. That's all I care about now. I used to care about a lot of things. Um, I, I mean, I've completely stopped eating sugar. I eat the same thing every day now, like very bland food that gives me fuel, but doesn't give me dopamine. I'm a I am a high believer of dopamine, resetting or detoxing or whatever, because in my own experience, that is what has helped me the most. I'm a lot more focused. Um, I just, I wake up and I am focused on what I care about every second of the day. There's no point in my day where I feel lost or I don't know what I'm doing. I'm always thinking about what I care about. And that is so important to me. I feel like I'm on top of my life purpose. I feel like I'm utilizing every second of my life now. Whereas before, when I had more things, when I had more freedom, when I had more safety, I was less happy, you know? And a better way to say it is I was less focused. I was less um, determined. I just didn't feel as good about myself because I just didn't I wasn't as motivated, I wasn't as disciplined, I wasn't as focused. I just didn't feel like I was utilizing my time correctly. I think that's a really important thing for us as humans is that we need to feel like we're using our time on this earth properly because we only live once, right? And our time is running out. I mean, I'm sorry I don't want to sound pessimistic or negative, but the reality of the situation is you don't know how long you have on this earth, and the only thing that's certain is death, right? And that you only have one life. So I think the key to fulfillment really is just utilizing each second in this God-given day that we're given, each day, and to be thankful. I mean, I haven't been as grateful each day as I am now that I'm taking risk and now that I'm on living life on the edge, whatever. Obviously, I'm managing my risk as smartly as possible, and that's another thing. If I wasn't being smart with my risk and and action, I wouldn't be going to a place like Vietnam because, you know, I'm trying to stretch myself out as much as possible to live this life where I'm spending each and every day learning a skill or networking or figuring out what I want to do. And so part of it is weighing the risk, right? You're not just throwing like you don't want to throw all your money away. Um, so part of that is making sacrifices because I want to stay in Japan. I'm very sad to leave. The weather's starting to get actually nice now because it's October and I'm about to go back into the jungle in Vietnam and it's going to be really hot and it's just not going to be as nice. But, you know, it's what I have to do in order to keep living on and to keep up this lifestyle so that I can get better and better and to figure out what I'm doing. So the next thing is taking risk is the only thing you can do to get what you want. There's really nothing else that I can say to you. If you want something out of your life, if you have a goal, if you have a dream, if there's something that you want to have that you don't have right now, if there's a place that you want to be, if there's something about your life that you don't like, you have to make a change. Like you have to sacrifice. There's a saying, you know, if you aren't sacrificing for your dream is what you're sacrificing. If you aren't actively sacrificing for what you want is what you're actively sacrificing right now. each and every moment that you're breathing and living. Like, if you are not actively doing something, trading your time, energy, or money for what you want, pursuing what you want, you are actively sacrificing what you want. That's just the reality of the situation. So how do you see, if you see yourself in 6 months from now, can you see yourself the same? Can you stand to see yourself exactly the same in 6 months from now? If not, you have to make a change or else you will be the same. You really have to have a reality check. You have to have a self audit right now and just think about, if I don't do something different, I am going to be exactly where I am now in 6 months from now. And I hate to break it to you, but all the other people that you see online, and people who are actually taking risk and doing things, they're just going to be ahead of you, and they're going to be achieving the things that you want. Um, whereas you're just in the same situation, and that's just the reality of the situation. So you have to make a sacrifice. You have to make a change. You have to take risk. And if you don't, you are not going to do anything. And that is, I can promise you that, because that comes from my own experience. Me personally, I'm telling you, from me to you, I could not do anything until I took risk, until I forced myself, until I moved, until I made it so that I'm running through my savings rather than, because I didn't like my job, but I was saving money. I didn't really have any expenses. I was just, saving up money, and it was safe and easy, but I wasn't doing anything. And I'm sure that's you too. Nothing was happening. Even though I was saving money, it's like, okay, but I'm only making like 15 grand a year, right? That there's no future in that. That's dead end. Um, I don't want to be living with my family my whole life. I'm tired of feeling like a loser. I'm tired of not living the life that I dreamed about when I was 19, when I was 18, when I was 15. I'm 24 now. There's all these kids online talking about how, like, oh yeah, like I started, my online business. I started doing this, I started doing that when, I know kids who are 18 who are millionaires. I have friends who are making $10,000 a month with their own business. I watch them start it up from zero, and I'm so much older than them. And so I can tell you that it's not too late, because it's easy to feel that way in today's society. There's so many kids who are already millionaires, but it's not too late. You can't use that as an excuse, because then you're going to be 35, then you're going to be 45. And then what? You didn't start because some kid did it before you, and then that's your excuse. Like, that's not an excuse. And that's not, that's something that I've felt, and it's easy to feel, but I'm not using that as an excuse, and you shouldn't either. So I just wanted to make that this quick video for you, and I hope that it's helpful. I hope that it inspires you in some sort of way to take some sort of action. The moral of the story is, if you're having issues with taking action, it's probably because you are not in enough need. You are not in enough dire need to take action. So you need to put yourself in a little bit more risk. You need to take a little bit more risk. You need to do something that people are going to be like, okay, what are you doing? Like, that's risky. Why are you doing that? That's not safe. You could fail. If you aren't doing something where people aren't telling you that you shouldn't do that, you're not doing the right thing. You need to do something now. Take some sort of action today that you think people are going to probably disagree. You know, do something, with reason, you know, weigh the pros and cons, make the smartest decision, I'm not telling you to blow your life savings on one thing. You know, you can lose all your money in one day, but you need to take some sort of action now, today, this week, this month. Make it a promise to yourself that you do something different in your life for once, because you're not going to see any change unless you make a difference, unless you make a change. You won't see any change until you change. So, have a good day.